Morning everybody, welcome to RE Plus Orlando. We are about to begin with our presentation today on boosting installation quality for first-time success. Once again, it's boosting installation quality for first-time success. And what's going to be so interesting about today is we're going to take a dive into the three components on how to be or how to become a successful contractor, tradesperson within the solar industry. And we're going to see that these three components, what makes them so important, what makes them so valuable, is that they transfer in every aspect of life. In each category, we're going to learn how these can not only apply to you in your business, not to you just in the trade, not to you just in your solar industry, but within every aspect of your life. The components of these qualities, these trainings are going to help you throughout each one. And I can't wait to share that with you all. Welcome once again to boosting installation quality for first-time success. What's so exciting about this outline is we're going to be breaking it down into three parts and the three components of what it's going to be successful within the solar industry. And what's so impressive about these three components is the fact that these aspects that we're going to learn today apply in all aspects of life. So these qualities that we're going to learn not only within the solar industry, not only as a contractor, not only as a manufacturer, but these are the qualities you're going to take and you're going to apply it to your everyday life. And what I appreciate about each and every one of you is the fact that you guys are here. You're taking already an interest in the fact that you want to become proficient when it comes within the solar industry. And that takes a lot of work. And we're going to understand how that's going to apply in these three components. Today, we're going to break down basically hard skills, soft skills, and self-development. And we're going to see why those three pillars are the pillars that you need to improve on so you can become successful in not just solar, but in every aspect of life. So my personal favorite, because I myself am an electrical contractor. We're based out of New England area. So my name is Wilson Betances. I'm an electrical contractor and we operate in Connecticut. We're in the Northeast where we operate in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, you name it. We have our license up there and we're performing solar installs in the Northeast region. What I appreciate about our aspect, or when coming from the construction industry, especially now when it comes to renewable energy, it's two different clashes. You almost have the guys in the field clashing with office, because we recognize that for primarily construction companies, we're hard skill dominated. We're in the ground, we're hitting the floor running to get a job completed, and we lack on the soft skills. Yet with the solar, with renewable energy, we're seeing a lot of it's soft skills, trying to work with hard skills to provide that value and that end product for a customer. And there's a clash right there, to the point where so many different parameters are governing the installation. So today we're going to start talking about the importance of boosting installation quality for first-time success. So we all understand when it comes to renewable energy, we want to provide that exceptional service to the end user. But to do that, we have to take a step back and recognize we are in a hard skill dominated industry. At the end of the day, someone has to go into the field to do the installation. With that being said, to do the installation, you got to make it to code. You got to meet it to meet parameters. Not only manufacturer specs, there's so many different things that affect the quality of that installation that you have to take in an account. So for everybody coming into the solar industry, you have to recognize the balance between hard skills and soft skills. At 12 o'clock, we're going to be going over the soft skills, but we're going to take a dive into hard skill. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, comments related to hard skills, that's what we're going to be processing today. Because we want to make sure that when we go up to a job, we have the right equipment, we have the right manufacturing, we have the right end user, and then with quality installation, we can actually have a product that lasts. Because once again, if you go to any manufacturer and then you say, hey, your product doesn't work, what are they going to say? Who installed it? Did they take our certification? Oh, not our products. Our products are going to last 20 to 30 years. So that's something we want to keep in mind. So we have to make sure the individuals who are performing these jobs, performing the installation itself, are qualified, trained. And we're going to break that down today into three specific parts. We're also going to start jumping into code requirements as well. But we're going to see overall what's needed to have an installation that passes for the first time. Just by a show of hands, I want to know how many people are within the solar industry, either in manufacturing, contracting, or in any other capacity. we have manufacturing, we have quick bolt. And what aspect? Installation. Okay, beautiful. Where are you guys based out of? Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so you're just around the corner. So that's awesome. Oh man, so this is just right up your alley. Especially we're gonna see how it all applies when it comes to, hold up. I could have swore I had a napkin. So sorry about that. With Florida, we have some statistics coming and it's gonna talk about like how Florida, the solar installations within Florida are going through the roof right now. It's actually catching up to California and Texas when it comes to rooftop. That's awesome. Are you guys together in the same? Okay, and yourself? What aspect of the solar industry are you working with? Sustainable? Yep. Okay, exciting. No, but once again, we're going to see how this applies to all aspects within the solar industry. So that's going to be exciting to break it down with each and every one of you. But now that we know we have some installers, we also have some contractors, we also have some manufacturers within renewable energy, we have some statistics here for Florida. Florida now is ranked 3rd since 2022 on the national average of the most rooftop installation. That's based off the RE Events website. We know we have enough solar power systems to power 1,500,000 homes. That just shows the continuous growth within the industry itself, not only just within the industry, but here's local to Florida. So with that in mind, we see the need. We see people responding to the need and the incentives of solar. But what happens when we do a bad installation? What happens when, what's the reputation? Honestly, how's the end user going to eventually feel when we come to them and say, hey, how are you liking your system? To have that end user, that first time pass rate, we understand there's a lot more that goes into just slapping some glass on a roof. We have to take the appropriate actions, and that starts with hard skills. So we're going to break it down right now, and we're going to be talking about the 3 pillars of success when it comes to any industry, any skill, and it comes down to the hard skills, the soft skills, and self-development. And we're going to break down today in our 3 series of conversations why these 3 pillars are so important. But today we're going to start off with making sure we can boost our first-time success rate, and just like the construction industry, that's going to be primarily here when it comes to hard skills. We have to recognize the balance between these 3 points. But guess what? The end user, the ultimate reputation we're going to have within our industry is primarily going to start here with hard skills, because that's when the crews show up late to the homeowner, she's upset, they took off from work, now they're upset, they missed some holes, it's leaking, etc., etc. It all comes down to hard skills, and it comes down to supply and demand. There's so many people who are getting incentivized to sign up, that the quality is now diminishing because the quantity is too much. And we want to make sure that we understand what could we do? What could we do as trades professionals? What could we do within renewable energy to make sure we maintain that reputation high? And it's so important to especially have this understood before that next installation, because we want to make sure, once again, the end result is a successful completion of your work. But that it's very broken down into the soft skills. Soft skills when it comes to systems. Right now for hard skills, what can we do? Well, we did an analysis of the top 3 major fails when it comes to electrical solar installations in Florida. By any chance, if you guys are contractors or if you guys are within renewable energy, do you guys happen to know what are the top 3 fails when it comes to solar installations within Florida? Mounts? Okay, what about the mounts? Leaking, yep. But missing trusses. So in Florida, do a lot of the inspectors actually do the roof inspection, like go crawl up? Exactly. We find that out at the end when the homeowner starts saying it's leaking. A lot of inspectors are not going on the roof to check. They're checking from down below. So that is a hard skill. That is an installation issue. but it's not going to stop them from the fail. They'll get the pass. They find out after that next storm, though, that the roof is leaking, correct? So now, what are the 3 fails, the major fails? We're going to break it down to you guys. Come again?
Inspection fails.
Inspection fails, correct. Correct, not system failures, inspection failures. The top 3 fails when it comes to installation failures. Exactly. It's because, once again, exactly. As much as we love the solar industry, we got to remember the parameters in which we're operating. You still need that electrical license to pull the permit. So what governs the installation? What governs the hard skill parameters? It's the electrical code. So as much as we understand the equipment are having a certain amount of ratings, certain certifications, our parameters are governed by the NEC. It's governed by our state board on what a proper installation is. And with that in mind, you know, if you go to another state, they have a whole different set of laws, a whole different set of amendments. But the principle, what we have is hard skills. So we're going to understand and take a dive into the 3 major fails that not only Florida's facing, but in the entire US. What are the 3 major fails? We're going to see it breaks down to number 1, what you talked about, has to be on the ground, electrical system, grounding and bonding. That's the number 1 fail. Because so many electrical contractors, sadly, are working with individuals who are just throwing these installations together. Now that helps with the quantity, but it's not helping with the quality. But once we recognize that issue, now we can attack it. So now we're going to start breaking down into the 3 aspects, the 3 major fails when it comes to installations. And we know the first one, as we mentioned, is grounding and bonding. So we're going to talk about the 3 major fails. In electrical / solar industry. The first one, we said, grounding and bonding. This is based off of the NEC Article 250. Does anybody have any other ideas of what the other 2 fails could be in terms of installation? There's no wrong answer. There's no, because there's many. But what are the 3 major that's transparent throughout the US? It does have to do with the junction box, but true or not, how many times, like you mentioned at the end of it, the end user will call you when there's roof leaks, correct? So that's end of the line. Think of something that we respond to besides roof leaks that we respond to fix, and it has to do with junction boxes. There we go. So you actually, there you go. So we actually going to break that down into 2 points. The first is wire management. Wires exposing below the panel, sitting on the roof. Does Florida have squirrels? Because in over here in the Northeast, they chew them up all the time. And what's so funny about that is, you guys have the iguana situation. Okay, so that's next level. Yeah, I don't know how to handle that one. That's a whole slide on its own then. But what's so funny about that? Wire management, that's the second one. So we're gonna break that down into wire management, and that's gonna fall under Code Article 690.31. Wire management. NEC Article 690.31. So these are going to be your reference points for afterwards. So what's so important about especially wire management, as contractors, we know the inspector's not going on the roof. That's half the job. So we're like, okay, he's not gonna check. But if he's down below grade and he sees the wires touching the roof, that's him now, you gave him the green light to look at everything else. That leads us to our third major fail. And once I say it, you guys touched on it, has to do with junction boxes. You guys are gonna agree. True or not, loose connections. How many times are we responding back to an installation because it charred up? The line side tap just blew up on the first side of the disconnect. I'm responding to 4 calls a week due to loose connections when it comes to solar installs. Because either the shark bites that they're using to do the line side tap or the breaker backfit, nothing's torqued to specs, or they over crank it where the wire is now overheating and it causes the install to not only shut down, lose production, but at the same time, now you gotta go back, and the second you say fire damage, how's the homeowner gonna respond? They're like, whoa, 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 what's going on? You said it was safe, and now we start going down the whole spiral. It goes back to the reputation. So once again, hard skill, the first pillar when it comes to having a successful solar company, we have to recognize the importance of hard skills. We have to recognize the importance of proper installation so we can have a proper install for the end user who can now speak positively on the industry. But we have to recognize these 3 fails are something we can do, we can fix all within ourselves. As a contractor, how often you want to ask yourself is your training? As a contractor, are you leading by example? Are you showing them how to do a proper install? Me as an electrical contractor, I failed that in the beginning, I'm going to be honest. I would just expect they knew what to do. And then we all know what happens when you assume something. It never ends good. But then it starts, once again, we don't want to jump into the other topics, but you're going to start seeing how systems, checkpoints, and then you're going to also know leadership on what you're doing as a professional, trades professional, contractor, an inspector. What are you going to do to train yourself in leadership qualities so you can implement the systems, and it all goes down to the hard skill. But here's the thing, the hard skill is what the homeowner's going to be experiencing day to day. They're not dealing with you in the office. They don't understand your leadership qualities. They just know who's showing up to their house to do the physical install. And guess what? When things go bad, now they know, oh, well, we'll put that on the schedule right away. Oh, we'll communicate with you. Oh, we apologize for that bad install. Here's how we're going to incentivize you to stay with us. The customer is going to always end up dealing with the people on the field, the people on their house in hard skills. The focus on the install. They usually talk to the office, they usually talk to the owner when something bad happens, true or not. Because guess what? If they do their job right and there's no issue, they're just jumping to the next job. They don't have to do anything, it's just paperwork at that point. So we have to focus on hard skills. We have to set the precedent on what we have to do for a proper install so we can pass the first time, so that the homeowner's happy, so that the reputation of the industry stays positive, and then we keep replicating through systems and then leadership. But that's just a taste of basically the overview of what we're going to be breaking down today. Today, we're going to go right back to hard skills. So to understand that, and now that we see the importance and the value behind these 3 pillars, we're going to be talking about the 3 most common fails within the industry. We already talked about grounding and bonding, which is found in Article 250, wire management, which is in Article 690.31, and last but not least, we talked about loose connections. And that's going to be found in 110.14D. Or torquing. Am I getting more feedback? Where's Tommy? Did the volume? Huh?
You just have to bring the mic closer. You can't hold it too far.
Hello, hello.
You also got a lav on you as well.
Come again?
You're wearing a lav.
Correct.
As well.
No, this is separate audio recording, but it will still get the same feedback?
No, I mean, do you have the lav on right now?
Yes, it's right there.
Okay. It should be fine. Just make sure that you have that closer to your mouth. Just if you have it too far, you won't be able to hear. But
Appreciate you. I just thought someone turned it up.
no, we did.
Oh yeah? Okay, perfect. Oh, I was gonna keep it lower, but I appreciate that. I was just heard some more feedback, and I was like, oh. Appreciate you. Thank you guys. So loose connections, and we know that's broken down to also the torquing specs. And that's in article NEC 110.14. And these are the installation failures that we typically see. Yes, we have other ones as well when it comes to the roof leaks. But we know for the most part, the inspector's not going to do the inspection hitting the rafters. They're hitting deck most of the time. So these are the three most common failures. But what's so exciting about recognizing that we have these failures is the fact that these all can get resolved with proper training. If you honestly think about it, this is all within an hour. If you're a qualified electrician, if you understand your craft, this takes an hour. This is one class that you have with your guys, or you spend the day in the field with them. This is all within reason on how you can now train them so that they're more equipped to understand their role, and that once again, that leads to a successful pass the first time, end user being happy, the homeowner, for that first time success. So what are some things that you guys are doing within your industry? Because we understand from the beginning, we said we have some manufacturers, we have some contractors, we have some other people within the sector who work in renewable energies. This is just broken down hard skills, and we understand hard skills is the certification, it's the turning of the light bulb, it's the actual physical grind of the work. What are some things that you guys are witnessing in your trade, within your profession, with your industry, that you can now apply these same concepts? Remember, these codes are just applying to us as installers, contractors. What are these concepts? What are these principles that do you see that can apply to yourself in your sector? No, whatever applies to you guys. So you guys as contractors, installers, this is your bread and butter. This makes sense to you guys. What other aspects or what proactive steps are you guys doing in your company that matches with the focus on hard skills?
I mean, we started our company a year ago.
Yep.
Because of experience.
Really? Yep.
I've been in the industry for about 9 years, and I work for different companies, and like this is partner here, we're with other company. We're physically doing the installs.
Yep.
Because of this,
Yep. There you go.
we have not failed an inspection in a year.
There you go.
We have a side business.
Yeah.
Service, just because, and it's always a wire mesh. These are water, city, and fries in, putting connections correctly, and it's all with wires.
Isn't it insane how this applies to everybody throughout the US? Everybody's having the same issue because they don't have a qualified workforce. It's quantity over quality. To control that narrative, to control the end user, to control the reputation, we have to do better when it comes to the hard skills.
I think it's because for some reason the solar, at least in Florida, New York City, the solar industry has taken more sales and operation and marketing than it's actually a construction company. We're just like roofers, we're just like windows and doors. But for some reason, solar just decided to be more marketing and sales and pushing all those jobs with not training anyone. Throw roofers on there and say, hey, you know roofing. Go install these mounts. Hey, you know electrical.
Yeah.
Go install these disconnects and expect. And most of the orders have no idea the technical side.
And they're trusting them.
They're all finance and sales guys.
Yep.
Majority of these organizations.
You're seeing the same thing?
So in terms of kidding aside, I say we haven't failed an inspection in a year. We've
Yeah.
only done 4 installs. So, but
That's still a good track rate, bro.
I came from the commercial GC world, and you just never had anybody at the end of the line doing that final part of install of anything that didn't know what they were doing and it wasn't properly trained. They might have an apprentice that was still learning, but it was going to be to code in the box. And one of the things, so as a practice, one thing we do, we don't think, will it pass inspection? I won't even hire anybody if I ever hear them say, oh, the inspector won't see it. We don't think that way. We are the inspector. So we have to know the code because that poor inspector has 39 jobs he's going to today, and he's not allowed to go on the roof because of insurance and yada yada. So I have to watch his back for him if I want to not have to come back to that job or burn someone's house down. I can't rely on him, and that's not his fault entirely.
Exactly.
So that's one thing. But then another thing is exactly what she said. We focus on the quality. We say the process is the product. That's what we sell.
Yep.
And so we slow down, we do less installs, and we do them correctly, and we let word of mouth scale us. We scale by word of mouth, which is totally doable in this day and age. You don't have to have, and I'm not picking on sales forces, but when you're sales driven, all of a sudden you've got 20 installs and 5 installers, and now you're going to go find a well-meaning handyman who knows how to turn a wrench and throw him up there doing electrical. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You got to slow down so that you only grow as fast as your training person.
I love that. I love that. And what you hit everything on the head. And what I appreciate what both of you said, it's the sales driven. What's so funny is we made some video, we have some content exactly about that. And we talked about how the construction industry is not a sales driven industry. Blue collar, for the most part, if you talk to them, they just want enough to swipe with their card and take care of their families. For the most part, that's all people care about. This sales driven is mainly roofers, mainly window installers, and then other sales industry. And now they're slowly creeping in. And then they think it's numbers, numbers, numbers. But then they don't recognize the hard skill that goes into this. And that's what I was saying with the solar industry specifically. As a contractor, do you guys do electrical work as well? So, you know.
She's an electrician.
There you go.
Electrical tech.
I have, right, somebody calls you, hey, my light's not working. For the most part, you show up, you swap out the light, you're good, you send a bill, they're done. Soft skill is very low on the totem pole. This is what gets you the money. This is all when we're coming up in the trades, someone said, can you do some work for me on the side? Doing some side drops, right? And then we're like, oh, we could make some quick money doing this, right? Because now you found out that your skills have value. But you never learned about this. You found out about this just like with the poor install. When you don't send an invoice on time, then the customer doesn't have it, and then you're like, I haven't been paid in 2 weeks. Then you start seeing the importance of soft skills and leadership. But when it comes to solar, it's going the other way around. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to recognize the balance and the dance. If you're gonna have systems for sales, if you're gonna have systems for operations, if you're gonna have systems for communicating with the homeowner to make sure, hey, we're scheduling permits, all that stuff, that's fine. But you have to, like you said, you have to make sure this is up to par. Because you're only as strong as your weakest link. And what's sad about the solar industry, we can do so much more work on the hard skills. This may be fun. We got all the data. You go and you type in data statistics, and you're gonna see this go through the roof. True or not? But then you see this, fails, go through the roof. Customer is upset, through the roof. Because you can only grow to the capacity as this. And that's it, you hit it on the head. That's exactly why this whole presentation was developed, just to understand just the taste of these are the 3 fails that we're experiencing. And then that goes and funnels the whole issue. We have a whole service division now in the industry just because of this. But if we did this from the beginning, you can have that conversation. True or not? It's like, Okay, there's a lot of training going on for services. There's a lot of secondary, third-party curriculum courses that you can take. But you can't pull a permit with those certifications. You can't sell a job with those certifications. You still need to come back to what your parameters are. And it comes down to the hard skills. That's the dance that we have to develop. That's the reputation. And that's why I love organizations like SIA with RE, where now they're pushing like, no, we need more licensed electricians. Now we're seeing it, but after 10, 15 years of, a shock to it. But what's awesome about it, once again, now goes back to the hard skill. This is stuff that we can fix readily easy. Just investing into your team, sending them to school, do a training with them, or have them on the job site with you, you show them the proper way, and then all of this is, once again, now you're fixing the true issue. We're not putting a Band-Aid on it, creating a service department. You just need your install so we can pass that one time, and then the system lasts 20 to 30 years. Because if you go to SolarEdge and they say, your system's messed up, if broke down after a year, they're gonna say, no, who installed it? You want an RMA, you gotta go through this whole line, 30 minutes on the phone with them, take a photo of this, take a photo of that. That photo had nothing to do with this. Nope, take a photo of it anyway, for them to go, oh, well, someone else installed it. They weren't certified. You voided the warranty. So at the end of the day, everyone's gonna defend their product, but nobody can really defend the hard skill unless you're the licensed contractor, unless you're the one doing the physical work to code. Because you could be the licensed contractor, like we mentioned, and get the fails. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happening right now. If you're just like, a lot of people, what they try to do is just like give it to other people so they can just do the work and they get the little kickback. But we have to understand the importance of these hard skills. We have to understand, hey, for us to get the first time pass, the systems, all that other stuff is important. But for us in the construction industry, we recognize it's primarily on hard skills. So you guys hit it on the head. Appreciate you guys. What about you? What aspect of the solar industry are you working with? Distributor. What aspect of distribution? Like utility or products? Okay, a specific manufacturer?
We have multiple manufacturers that we work directly with in order to work with people right now.
Awesome.
For the product. So solar panels, inverters, microinverters, batteries,
Yep.
EV stations, all of that.
So it's the same concept. You guys hard skilled, but your is shipping and receiving. That's your hard skill. That's the physical labor that you guys are doing. And we have to understand the balance between hard skill, getting the product out on time, because you can have, hey, here's your schedule. This is our next shipment. But if no one sends out the box, now that's when everyone's like, hey, I needed this for yesterday. I need blah, 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 the whole shebang. The same thing applies with whatever industry you're working for. You have to understand the balance between each one. And you can be strong on one, or you can begin at the soft skill side, like what we're seeing with the solar industry, but you gotta make sure it's in par with the other counterpart, the hard skill. Especially when a lot of individuals, like you said, it's sales and the solar contractors, a lot of them are just business owners and they don't have the license. You know what I mean? So that's also another intricate dance. So they can operate it, they can run the system, awesome, but like you said, the key part of it all is having that balance when it comes to the hard skill.
So another thing that we're going to implement as we scale is we've restructured how finance works and who gets paid what, and we've redistributed a lot of that sales money, the commission money,
Yeah.
throughout the company for profit share. So
There you go. Yep.
sales, install, office. We're all the same team and we all stand to make the same money.
Yep. And what you did, that is more self-development. That's you understanding your company. That's systems. That's nothing of that. The systems is going to track how much profit sharing you make. But that's all self-development. That's leadership qualities. That's what you're doing and creating that culture within your company so that you incentivize not only these guys, but then you have the data to back it up. So we have at 3 o'clock, we have the presentation where we're going to talk about self-development and leadership. But you guys are already there. That just shows the value in everything. That just shows how when everything in theory works together, that's when you have an issue. That's when you have success. That's when you have a successful contracting, a successful project, a successful reputation within the industry. So just keep doing that. What I love about this chart for myself is when someone comes to me with a problem, I just break it down. Is it an install issue? No. Is it soft skill? Cool. Think about it. Homeowner is upset. Oh, everyone runs it. Oh, well, communicate with her. No. Why is she upset? Oh, the house smells like smoke. So now we know it's a hard skill issue, true or not. Cool, we gotta do this. Now we gotta remedy this with our systems, but then we gotta get big boy over here to now talk the homeowner down from writing a complaint. You know what I mean? So you have to understand the process. The same thing with shipping and receiving. Hey, I never got my package. But then you go to these guys and they said, no, I never got the shipping label. How are we gonna resolve it? Who's going to take the lead on that? Hey, my bad, I didn't send it out. I forgot that, I was piled up. Okay, accountability, restructure the system, send it out now. Whatever aspect of life you're in, you break it down into these three things. Is it a physical issue? With my wife, you didn't take out the trash. Is it really because I didn't take out the trash? Or is it, I didn't, so then I got to take accountability, then I got to make and then I'll take out, you know what I mean? It's all aspects of life. These steps, you can break it down to literally anything. And then it helps you really with project management now. And that's what we're going to be talking about around 12 o'clock when we break it down to project management and soft skills. It's the same concept. Once you understand, hey, is it a physical issue, a system issue, or a personal issue? Once you break it down to that, it's game over. Then you'll be successful in everything you do. But no, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. That's pretty much it. Unless we open it up for some Q&As. If you guys have any questions, concerns, thoughts, we can all process that together, or especially you guys in contracting, that's my bread and butter. So whatever you guys need help with, whatever we can break down together, or you in manufacturing, if you have any insights, questions, concerns, feel free to just share.
And you said at 12, project management, at 3, leadership skills.
Correct. So at 1 o'clock, I think 12 o'clock we finish this one technically, but at 1 o'clock we begin project management, and that title is Project Management Essentials for High Impact Projects. And that's at 1 o'clock. And then at 3 o'clock, we have Building Leadership Skills. So once again, we're gonna go right back to each one of these topics. So we just broke down hard skills, why it's important to understand hard skills. At 1 o'clock, we understand why is it so important to have soft skills. That's efficiency, that's project management skills. Then at 3 o'clock, we talk about self-development, leadership. What type of culture you're going to be developing in your company? What type of reputation do you want to have within your industry? So each aspect of these chart, we're going to break down more personal, one-on-one. I appreciate you. How about you guys?
We have totally nerdy technical questions.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You want to process it together or off? Let's go. Let's do it. Here.
There's a new code that is
Yep.
taps, line side taps.
Line side tap, okay.
So I can't use the taps anymore, apparently.
Okay.
And what taps are you guys using now that are line side? Because it says it has to say line side.
Rated.
On
Yep.
the tap itself. But when I try to look for it or I ask the distributors, they're not sure.
I can definitely call my project manager to get because I have a new brand that we're working with. It's like the Snap something, where when we do the line side tap, it's torqued to the rating, and so the nut driver where you're doing the line side tap, the nut snaps off after it meets its torque requirement. Yeah, I don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, and then I have the UL listing but here's the thing, like to take it off, it's harder. But it's made to, it's supposed to be lifelong. But if you do it the right way, it snaps itself off. And then you have that UL list, and I just show my inspector. And then if there's an issue, now it's 100% on the manufacturer. So I can get that name for you. Yeah. Yeah, because I just remember, because I didn't know we got those. And I installed it, and I went to collect Snap. I was like, and I'm doing a training, and I'm like, oh, so I took it apart, put another one, Snap. I'm like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is not looking good right now. And they're like, no, it's supposed to do that. I was like, oh yeah, I was just showing you how it works,
That's brilliant idea, though.
Yeah, but it's,
I mean, unfortunately, we were just talking about, man, we have got to always remember to have our proper tools.
yeah.
It's sure easy to just
I'm gonna step down to you guys.
save your voice.
But yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But yeah, everything else we torque though. We have like the WEHA for disconnects when it comes to all the other stuff, panel tightening, breakers, all that stuff. We have WEHA tools. You're talking specifically for line side tap, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's where the inspector, we had a house. We took over that project. We don't do a lot of residential construction.
Okay.
We had residential. But it was a long board. The original company kind of
Just disappeared. Yeah.
So it was under the 2017, so I was able to get away with the taps that I had.
Okay.
So
Hey, we're gonna start looking for this.
for the 2023 code,
Yep.
there are specific rules to say that it's a mindset tap verified
Yeah.
on the tap itself.
A lot of the towns are also going to require that. Like my inspectors, what I happen to do, one of our systems is we show them all our UL products. So like if we have it, we also upload it with our in the portal for the permit. So they now I was like, hey, it was on the permit, you approved it. But yeah, no, there's we started using that Snap one for like a year and a half now. I say my it's all plastic. It feels less. I like we used some black ones that were heavy duty. I love those. I love those. It felt like sturdy. Yeah, this one is all plastic, and I'm like, no friggin' way. I tightened it, and I was like, You know, I know snug, and I'm like, that wasn't snug. You know, that was just.
Oh man, we've got some where literally, we go to take them off, and they'd be so over torqued that literally a power drill wouldn't do it. Like you had to use a wrench.
Dang. So yeah.
That would break off.
Yeah, for us, I see the over tightening where they like basically chews up all the service.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, you know. So everyone has the same issues.
What do you guys use for wire management?
I was just gonna ask, what's your favorite wire management product besides zip ties?
Easy.
I'm trying to get rid of
Easy Solar.
Yeah.
You met with them? Easy Solar.
No.
Easy Soul.
Yeah.
That's what they named it right.
I used their J-Box.
No, they got wire management now.
Oh, yeah?
I'm learning about
No,
products
come
right
on.
now. So you guys are talking. Give me a little bit more information.
There you go.
What you like?
They got a booth over here.
Zip ties or anything. Because over time, no matter how amazing you do a wire management job, over time those zip ties are gonna break.
Yeah. And you guys are in Florida. You guys are in Florida, so that
Zip tie, what are the name of the people that you do?
Easy
Easy.
Solar.
Okay.
They have a booth like right over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have our own convention, like, and we do hands-on training, and they came and they gave us a whole bunch of stuff,
Right.
and it was awesome. It was awesome.
I
Yeah.
don't want to keep the zip ties over because again, we get called a lot of service jobs. One of the companies I used to be sales manager, so all those reps that get calls,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, call this person.
Yeah.
And when you go to those jobs that are 4 or 5 years long, there's no wire management services.
Yeah.
Either the zip ties are broken or they used to do, I can't believe this, they would wrap it around the mic optimizer.
Oh yeah. Heck
Put
yeah.
it in the back.
Yeah.
So then when the inspector would
They
look, you
can't
don't
see it. Yeah.
You take your picture, you don't see it, but then you see this nest.
Yeah. Right on the back of it.
What could happen when a hurricane comes through?
Oh, yeah,
Those
no.
wires are going to stay right up in there.
I
Yeah.
just sent a tag because we're here, and he calls me and he tells me, hey, I did the service job, like, why were the 9 months out? And it's not somebody we installed, it's somebody that had footage. And he goes, there was no wire management, the end caps, it was a flat roof, it was on the ground, and there was a pool of water. And it just sat there
Yeah.
circuited. And I'm like,
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's a very easy stuff too. It's not like it's this or that or they
it's not the technical stuff.
it's the button up stuff, you know? The zip tie that you don't put on properly, it goes on the roof and then a squirrel, iguana, or the heat gets to it and then shorts out. It's always the little stuff. They done the whole install, they just didn't torque it. Like you know what torquing that? Okay.
I'm a chemical engineer.
There you go. So okay, finally, you're making me talk about distribution and whatnot. So the same thing, torquing. They did the whole install and it comes down to just the last connection. That's what they messed up. It's always the little thing that makes the big thing an issue. And that's what sucks when we go do a service call, you're like, all this happened because of this one little thing.
And then it costs a lot of money sometimes to fix it. So
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
that whole string. You gotta take out all those
Every
wires.
panel.
You gotta take off, you gotta bring in the wire, you gotta bring it on. It can get
Yeah, no, it's
and the sad thing is not the way, it's not the installer's fault most of the time.
Yep.
It's either lack of training or they're getting rushed by the owners to do the job stupid fast.
but you see what we're
You know, and it's like unrealistic. Like, do whatever you need to do to finish it and whatever you need to do so you can get paid.
Yep.
That's what solar is. It's all driven by who's going to get paid because it's heavy capital business. You need a lot of capital for every property.
Well, if
But
you
then
think,
they're not giving you guys enough support to do a quick and efficient job. They're rushing them. They don't have the right materials. They don't have the right tools. Order the wrong stuff. Ordering. Sometimes suppliers don't get that on time. It's such a logistical mess.
Let me
as
see.
well as lack of training. At least from what I've seen.
And the logistical
Let's
mess
see.
is part of the project planning. It's 1 o'clock, project building.
Yeah.
And-
Literally, it's a lack of logistics sometimes.
And-
That should all be within that plan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then it all falls on the worker. The lack of logistics of managing and getting the proper material, tools, and scheduling. At one point, it's like, it doesn't matter if it lag, just do whatever needs to be done and get it installed however it needs to get installed. And then you see these shoddy installs because the guys are under this pressure. And that's where the wire management does it because they don't have an extra hour to go. That's where the grounding and the bonding gets messed up because they're not going to run a continuous ground on 5 arrays. They're going to cut it in pieces and just show pictures for each one. And that's where all that shoddiness goes because they're getting pressure from leadership to do an install and they're not confident.
Yep.
They didn't have a proper wire takeoff, so the wire's short, so they splice it and hide it in the conduit.
Yep. Exactly. Or the racking rail.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
tape it. I've seen
And then
tape.
just tuck it in there.
And I'm like,
Because they were told,
Wha-
get it done.
What's so funny is I just asked my office manager, what's our average roof call hourly? So from one bad optimizer to find it on average is a 4 to 6 hour trouble call. To find the one optimizer or the one wire that's chewed up for the ISO fault. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they just slap the glass and then put the stickers on whatever they want. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. But what's so funny is, so they'll do that, they'll do this, they'll do that. Our average roof service call is 4 to 6 hours for a 15-minute fix. Or when it has an electrical issue, it's 3 to 4 hours billable that we're charging to fix these things for, again, torquing something down to a spec. It's so funny how these things, something so small affects everything in the long scheme. And then who eats the bill? Because like you said, you'll go to the solar contractor, they're not in business anymore. So you're like, hey homeowner, here you go. Oh no, that was
And we tell them,
It's the whole-
hey, sorry, but we have to charge you this for the labor. You're
Correct.
under warranty.
Yeah.
You know, but we didn't install it, we're just trying to help you service it out.
Exactly.
We actually opened up a subscription annual.
Oh, that's smart.
Where
That's
we
smart.
get a certain amount of free diagnostics and a certain amount of.
So you can catch it before it's,
Correct. And
Yeah.
then from that annual, we pay the techs hourly from that bucket.
Yep.
You know?
if they have to go up. What we do at the beginning of it, we charge them an annual fee, and then they get good discounts on labor and anything we have to do that isn't warranty. But what we do, we won't take the solar care unless we do a site survey detailed.
so you know what you're getting yourself into.
We tell them, so we give them a list of recommendations. We think you should do this, this, and this. And here, yeah, you know, this is urgent. You need